After cutting me out of their lives for 5 years, my parents came back shouting family helps family. They wanted me to sell my house to erase my sister's $260,000 debt. I said no, and they destroyed everything, but they had no clue what this house really was. I grew up in suburban Chicago, in a neighborhood that looked like it belonged on a postcard. Tidy lawns, cul-de-sacs, the whole American dream vibe. From the outside, we were a normal family. Mom and Dad had steady jobs, we never went hungry, and our house was always warm. But inside, it was a different story. My younger sister, Vanessa, was the golden child, born with this magnetic charisma and artistic talent that my parents couldn't stop gushing over. School plays, art contests, dance recitals. Vanessa was the star, and Mom and Dad were her biggest cheerleaders. Me, I was the practical one, studious, responsible, always doing the right thing. But those traits didn't earn me applause. They made me invisible. Ada's so independent, Mom would say with a smile that never felt warm. What she really meant was, Ada's on her own. By 16, I was juggling part-time jobs and honor roll grades, saving every dime for college because my parents made it clear Vanessa's dreams came first. She has special talents that need nurturing, Dad said when I asked about their college savings plan. You're smart enough to figure it out. So I did. I worked 30 hours a week through high school, earned a partial scholarship, took out modest loans, and graduated with a business degree from a state university. Meanwhile, Vanessa was off at a fancy art school in New York, with Mom and Dad footing the bill for her tuition, apartment, everything. After college, I landed an entry-level job at a financial services company in Chicago. The pay wasn't great, but I was determined to build something real. I lived cheap, roommates, packed lunches, no splurges, and chipped away at my loans while stashing money in an emergency fund. Vanessa, she bounced between creative ventures in New York, calling our parents whenever she needed cash for rent or her latest art project. I watched from afar, biting my tongue until 5 years ago when everything changed. Vanessa had this grand idea for an art gallery in Brooklyn. Mom and Dad, convinced she was destined for greatness, emptied their retirement accounts, $60,000 to fund it. I saw the lavish opening party on social media, unable to afford a flight to attend. 3 months later, the gallery was tanking. Vanessa had misjudged everything, expenses, location, the art market. She called me one night, sobbing. Mom and Dad are tapped out, Ita. The gallery needs $30,000 or it's over. You've got savings, right? You always save. I did have savings, 40,000, scraped together through years of sacrifice. It was my safety net, my future, my proof that hard work meant something. When I hesitated, suggesting a business plan or loan terms, Vanessa lost it. Family helps family, Etta. Mom and Dad gave everything for me. Now it's your turn. When I held firm, Mom called. How can you be so selfish? Your sister's in crisis. This is her dream. Dad was next, his disappointment like a knife. We raised you better than this. Family comes before money. The irony hit hard. They'd never applied that family first rule to my education or dreams. But Dad's ultimatum was the final blow. If you can't support this family, maybe you are not part of it. I whispered, you don't mean that. He replied, make your choice, Ida. Your sister or your money. I chose my savings. And just like that, they cut me off. Calls ignored, birthday cards returned, holiday invites non-existent. Mom even blocked me on social media. Relatives were told I'd abandoned the family. The gallery failed anyway, and Vanessa moved back home, her status as the wrong child intact. I was the villain who could have saved it all, but didn't. Those first holidays alone were brutal. I cried through Thanksgiving, Christmas, my birthday. Therapy helped me see the truth. I'd been the family scapegoat, Vanessa the golden child. Setting boundaries wasn't selfish. It was survival. So I poured myself into my career. Promotions came, my salary grew, and I kept saving, researching first-time home buyer programs. If my family wouldn't be my safety net, I'd build one myself. 3 years after the estrangement, I found it, a 1920s craftsman home just outside Chicago. The moment I stepped onto its wide front porch, with those sturdy columns and classic railing, I felt something click. This house had stood for nearly a century, through storms, recessions, changing families. It had strength. The realtor told me the previous owner, the granddaughter of the original builder, had loved it for 40 years, preserving its oak banisters, brick fireplace, and leaded glass windows that danced rainbows across the hardwood. It wasn't a sterile condo. It had soul, stories, survival. It was at the top of my budget, but with my savings and a recent promotion, I could make it work. I submitted an offer that night, and when I signed the closing papers, keys in hand, I felt prouder than ever. No one handed me this. I earned it. The first few months were a whirlwind. The house was solid but needed love. I painted every room myself, stayed up late after work, spent weekends refinishing cabinets, swapping out old fixtures, even learning basic plumbing. Each project felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I started building a life here too, dinner parties with colleagues, joining the neighborhood association, befriending the elderly couple next door who shared stories of the area's history. Mrs. Abernathy across the street taught me how to grow tomatoes, and my backyard became a little garden oasis. These people became my chosen family, filling the void my biological one left. That first Friendsgiving in my dining room, filled with laughter and warmth, showed me what family could feel like. Work thrived too. I became a senior financial advisor, helping clients set healthy money boundaries. Ironic, right? My house wasn't just a home, it was my sanctuary, my proof that I could build something unbreakable. Each mortgage payment felt like a high five to myself. For the first time, I made choices for me, not to avoid someone's disapproval. The estrangement, painful as it was, had freed me to discover who I really was. Then, out of nowhere, Mom called. It was a Tuesday evening, 2 years into owning my home. I was watering my garden, pasta sauce simmering, when an unfamiliar number lit up my phone. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. "Hello, Etta, it's Mom." The spoon I was holding hit the floor. 5 years of silence, and she sounded like we'd chatted last week. "How are you?" she asked, casual as anything. My heart was pounding, hope, anger, confusion all at once. "I'm surprised to hear from you," I managed. She invited me to dinner that Friday, saying Vanessa would be there, that it had been too long since we've been together as a family. I agreed before I could think, then sat on my kitchen floor, reeling. Why now? My therapist, Dr. Rivers, helped me prepare. "What do you hope happens?" she asked. "Best case, they apologize, and we rebuild something healthier," I said. "More likely, they want something." We set boundaries. Don't discuss finances unless they ask directly. Don't apologize for my past choices. Leave if it gets manipulative. Friday night, I drove to my childhood home. Stomach in knots. The house looked tired. Peeling paint, overgrown lawn, neglected flower beds. Dad answered the door, grayer and thinner than I remembered. His greeting cold. Mom's hug was brief, her smile forced. "Still so serious, Ita. Smile more," she said. And just like that, I was back in every family event where I was never enough. Vanessa arrived late, a whirlwind in a designer dress, diamond earrings glinting, her luxury handbag tossed carelessly on the table. The contrast with my parents' faded home was stark. Dinner was tense, the conversation circling back to money. Vanessa rambled about her new high-end art and fashion boutique, complaining about bills, a bad investor, a landlord who wouldn't budge. Then it came out. She owed $260,000. Personal loans, credit cards, renovations on her rented apartment, an investment in her brand, she called it. Mom patted her hand. "Your sister has vision. Sometimes that means risks." I couldn't believe it. "So you invited me here after 5 years to talk about Vanessa's debt?" Dad leaned forward. "We've done everything we can, Ita. Emptied our savings, took a second mortgage, sold our valuables." Mom gestured at the bare walls where art used to hang. "You bought a house," Dad said, his tone flat. "Real estate's up, especially for older homes. You could sell, help Vanessa, buy something modest." I was stunned. They'd researched my neighborhood, calculated my equity. "Let me get this straight," I said. "You want me to sell my home, give Vanessa hundreds of thousands with no repayment plan, and downsize my life for her failing business? Family helps family, Mom cried, tears in her eyes. Have we? I shot back. When have you ever helped me? The room went quiet. Vanessa slammed the table. You're just jealous, Ida, acting superior with your responsible shtick. I stood, done. I won't sell my house or pay her debts. Her problems aren't mine. Mom sobbed, Dad raged, but I walked out, their threats echoing. Don't expect another invitation. The harassment started immediately. Texts, calls, emails, Vanessa's social media posts painting me as the selfish sister hoarding wealth. Relatives chimed in, guilt-tripping me. Your cousin Sandy sold her car to help her brother, my aunt emailed. I doubted myself, but my therapist reminded me, this is manipulation, not family. My neighbors and friends stepped up, Mrs. Abernathy with bread, Tara staying over when calls got aggressive. Then 3 days after a suspiciously polite visit from my parents, I came home to find my front door ajar. Inside, my living room was trashed, books scattered, cushions slashed, selfish scrawled on the wall in lipstick. My parents and Vanessa were rifling through my office, hunting for my mortgage papers. I called 911, shaking with rage. What are you doing? I screamed. Mom looked startled, but not sorry. This is for your own good, Ida. Family comes first. Vanessa clutched my documents, smug. It's just stuff. You value it more than me. Police arrived, and despite my family's claims of a misunderstanding, the evidence was clear. Broken door, destroyed property, stolen papers. They were arrested, facing charges for breaking and entering, vandalism, and attempted theft. Later, I found why they were so desperate. My house, a historical landmark, couldn't be sold without strict oversight, making it useless for their quick cash scheme. The legal fallout was swift. A restraining order was granted, criminal charges led to probation and counseling, and a civil suit covered repairs and upgrades, including a security system. Vanessa's courtroom breakdown revealed the truth. Her debt was closer to $300,000, and our parents were bankrupt, having enabled her for years. The judge didn't hold back. Setting boundaries isn't refusing to help. It's healthy. Healing took time. My home, once my sanctuary, felt violated. I jumped at noises, checked locks obsessively. But my community, Mrs. Abernathy, Mr. Jenkins, my friends, helped me rebuild. 6 months later, my house was better than ever, my garden thriving, my peace returning. Vanessa sent an apology letter through my lawyer, claiming she was in counseling and working a retail job. I didn't reply, not yet. Trust takes time. Sitting on my porch now, watching fireflies, I know family isn't blood. It's respect, support, boundaries. My chosen family showed me that. Have you ever had to draw a line with family who felt entitled to your hard work? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear where you'd stand. If this story hit home, hit like and subscribe. True family lifts you up, and sometimes the family you choose heals you more than the one you're born into. Thanks for listening, and here's to building your own sanctuary no matter what.